Hey, welcome, guys. This is Coach Steele, and you're here with Coach Steele's Finance Training. Happy to have you on the channel on today. And of course, if you're new to the channel and you're watching on Facebook, just know that I am live on YouTube and I'm live on Facebook. If you want to connect with me on YouTube, I am on Coach Steele's Finance and Coach Steele's Finance Training on YouTube. You'll see a lot of videos there, a lot of content there. When I'm not live on Facebook during the week, I will repost videos on the YouTube channel. But regardless where you are, welcome to Coach Steele's Finance Training. We have a lot to cover today, ladies and gentlemen. And so we got to get to it. I'm going to be sharing my screen. We're going to be doing some math. We're talking about the power of passive income. Oh my goodness. How many people love passive income? First of all, you already know once you jump into the video and the live, just go ahead and tell me good morning. Dive right on in. I want to greet you and say good morning back to you because you took time out to see what I'm talking about on today. And here at Coach Steele's Finance Training, we talk about financial literacy, all things financial literacy. And so today we're going to talk about passive income and the power of passive income, the benefit of it. And I believe in America, we need passive income more now than ever. People are losing their jobs. People are going without work. When we put ourselves dependent on a system instead of creating our own system, we put ourselves in a very, very difficult and vulnerable spot financially. So we need to create a mindset here at Coach Steele's Finance Training. Our team, as we come together and we huddle up on this morning, we need to be motivated and try to put together a plan to have successful passive income. So I'm going to share my screen and talk to you about some things to let you know what's going on and what adjustments you need to make so that you are ahead of the curve with what's going on and you can position yourself for success for today and for your future. And of course, here at Coach Steele's Finance Training, I share a wealth of knowledge, a lot of information. And why should you listen to me? One, because I said so, but two, I am an award-winning strategy consultant. In other words, I work with people, I coach them and show them how to be debt-free. If you're interested in paying off your mortgage and getting and eliminating debt, then reach out to me and we'll connect concerning that, and I will point you in the right direction and or coach you in the right direction as well. So let's dive into this power of passive income. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Thank you for tuning in on today. Let me dive in here and share my screen. Shout out to the military people. I am a veteran myself in the Army. Well, used to be in the Army. So let's see here. Let's share our screen. One thing I want you all to know is what's going on in America. This is so good. This is so good. I really want to make sure I get the right link starting off. Let's see. Y'all bear with me. I think you're going to find this information very, very interesting. There we go. All right, we got that. I'm going to enlarge this bad boy so you should be able to see it. Cities whose residents make the most passive income. No, that's not what we want. Here we go. Share screen. All right, so cities who make the most passive income. Let me supersize it for y'all. Accommodate my audience. There we go. So this should work now. Let's see if this works. Welcome as you're tuning in to Coach Steele's Finance Training on today. Come on in the room. We're going to get into some stats as well when we look at all of this. It says, according to data from U.S. Census Bureau, 20% of American households earn passive income either through dividends, interest, or rental properties. Now, I want you all to remember this when it talks about rental properties. Among those households who do have passive income, the median amount is about $4,200 per year. Passive income streams can be large contributor to wealth creation. So passive income streams can be a large contributor to having wealth creation, generational wealth, and higher income households are more likely to have the means to invest in assets that provide it. So people who make more money more than likely are going to invest in assets to have passive income to be able to build wealth. Now, that's if you only know how to use your money, your 9-to-5 money, to acquire assets. I want to let you all know today, you don't always have to have high income to acquire assets. There's other creative ways to do it. There's other real estate programs out there that will teach you how to acquire real estate, no money down, owner financing, or partnerships, or learning how to find investors for deals that you've done the work for, and be able to write up, underwrite, and work deals successfully without having to use your money. So do not be discouraged by only high income households are more likely. Now, disparities in passive income by race and ethnicity contribute to overall wealth disparity. Now, that's something else I want to show you all today so that you can see that approximately 25% of non-Hispanic white households have passive income compared to just 7% of Hispanic households and 6% of Black households. So when we look at this subject about passive income, you're going to see that some cultures and communities participate in it and some just do not. And then we have to ask ourselves, why is that? Black and Hispanic households are least likely to generate income through interest, dividends, and rental properties. And guess what? These stocks that provide dividends are out there for anyone to invest in, whether you dollar cost average over a long period of time. I don't care if you get them, penny by penny, whatever the case may be, $1 every month. You have access to the stock market to invest in these things. If you don't know what dividend stocks are, on Coach Steele's finance training on my YouTube channel, you can go there and you will find videos about dividend stocks on there. So dive into the YouTube channel and you'll see some dividend stocks that I'm actively invested in. It will show you my dividend stock portfolio. So, and then rental properties. A lot of people think they can't acquire rental properties. Some people live in an apartment. You can still have rental properties while you live in an apartment. We're going to dive in a little that, and I'll do some math for you as well when it comes to investment properties. So when we look at this, let's look at these stats. Let's look at a real live situation here. Now, when we look at this darker color bar, that's going to represent the median passive income. And then the lighter color blue bar is the percentage of households with passive income. Very interesting numbers right here. And this was taken in 2019. So I'm sure the numbers and the disparity have grown. So when we look at this for non-Hispanic white, the average median income, passive income, is almost about $4,500 a month in passive income. For Asians, maybe about $4,100. When we look at Hispanics, it's about 4,000, very close, 4,200, somewhere there, 4,500. But then when we look at Black, it is less than 3,000, maybe 2,500. That is the average far as passive income. As you see, there's a great disparity there when it comes to the Black community. And so you have to ask yourself, why? What can we do better? What do we need to improve on? What education will help improve that? And so When it comes to passive income, that can be investing in stocks, it could be investing in rental income, it could be a number of things. But one thing's for sure is there's nothing that can stop you from buying a stock. And so we have to take the necessary steps to improve our culture and our community with acquiring assets that give you generational wealth and, most importantly, allow you to have ownership. And so there's a great disparity there when it comes to who has passive income. And so that affects your ability to retire comfortably as well. The ability to earn passive income increases with total income, and passive income streams tend to make up a larger share of income for wealthier households. In fact, the wealthiest, look at this, now this is important, the wealthiest 10% of American household, 10% of the American household own 89% of US stocks. So the 10% own almost 90% of US stocks, according to data from the Federal Reserve. So you have to understand that people who are wealthy are investing their money in assets that will pay them. And so you have to learn what wealthy people are doing so that you can emulate the blueprint that's right here in front of you. According to data from the Federal Reserve, likewise, nearly 50% of the nation's wealthiest household own residential property. 50% of the nation's wealthiest household own real estate. That is not their primary residence. So we're not talking about where you live. These are investment properties. This is real estate, compared to just 13% of all American households. So a lot of people have gotten successful off of real estate. And so that's important for you to understand, because we have a lot of people who do not position themselves to acquire real estate. I'm going to stop sharing my screen because I want to talk to you all on today of the importance and the power of passive income, and why certain cultures and communities are having success because they, over a period of time, continue to buy assets that will pay them later. They buy assets that will pay them now as well. And so when you look at things like real estate, it creates passive income for now and for later, and that property increases in value over time. Many of us have money that is sitting around that can be put to work. And so sometimes our money is being put to work in the wrong asset class. And so when you have certain things in order, and that's why it's important to get a financial coach and someone to guide you through the process, so you don't have money being wasted, money losing value because of inflation, but you're exercising and putting that money to work in the right asset classes to help you grow wealth and to prepare you for retirement. So, and let me give an example. I will give an example. Let me share my screen again. Good morning to you all as you're tuning in to Coach Steele's Finance Training. As you come on into the room, go ahead and greet everyone. Tell everyone good morning. We're happy to come together to Coach Steele's Finance Training. We're talking about the power of passive income. And so if you're tuning in on today, make sure you share this live if you're on Facebook with other people so that they can enjoy this education and information as well. You know how I like to do, guys. I like to educate. I like to show information, get on the calculators, get on these charts, and kind of open your eyes up to think a little bit different about what you're doing and where your money is. And so we're talking about the power of passive income, how to put our money to work to our advantage that benefits us. So next, what we're going to look at is, let's say hypothetically, there's someone, I'm going to supersize it for y'all. There we go. Let's say there's someone that has $40,000 lying around. Well, my first thing is, of course, I always tell everyone, make sure you have an emergency fund, have some extra money off to the side. But then when you have extra funds that's sitting there, you can employ and deploy that money and put it to work for your benefit, for your future, or for your children or your children's children. So just know that a good individual will leave an inheritance for their children's children. So let's say we got $40,000 lying around. one of the first things I'm going to tell you is, hey, if you don't have that money sitting in a high yield interest savings account, then at least sit it in a high yield interest savings account where you can get to 3.5%, maybe 4% interest annual percentage yield. And what does that look like? Well, if you have $40,000 sitting in a regular savings account and it's making less than 1% interest annually, that's $400 divided by 12. So every month that $400 is going to make you about $33.33. There's some compound interest that will build up. But let's say you take that $40,000 and you put it in a high yield interest savings account times 0.4%. Now, instead of making $400 a year, my goodness, 4 times the amount, $1,600 divided by 12 months. Boom. Now, instead of making $33 a month, that $40,000 is making about $133.33. Also, the compound interest every month that it's building. So 1 month it'd be $40,133.33. The next month, they're going to give you compound interest because the new balance is going to be $40,133.33 times 4%. That new balance. So just keep that in mind and it will build up. Let your money work for you. But so let's say you make $133 a month off of that $40,000. And keep in mind, everyone doesn't have $40,000. I know it may be $10,000. It may be $20,000. It may be $5,000. Understand the scenario and the math works for everyone. We're just using $40,000 as an example here. So stay with me, guys. Thank you for tuning in to Coach Steele's Finance Training. We're talking about what could we do with $40,000 that's just lying around. So we know we can make about $133 a month in a high yield interest savings account with that $40,000. Let's go deeper. If you're tuning in with me today, in the comment section, I want you to type in, let's go deeper, because I want you to understand the power of compound interest. And I want you to understand the options that you have in front of you. We have to maximize our options with our money. We have to employ and deploy our money and put it to work strategically to work for our benefit. You know, yesterday I was working with the client one-on-one. And what they had accomplished so far was so inspiring. They were an older couple. And this speaks about the power of compound interest. And guys, just keep in mind, I'm going to dive back into that $40,000 example of what we can do with that $40,000. So I haven't forgotten. It's somewhere in here. So in the comment section, we're diving, let's go deeper. I want to use an example of some clients I work with. It wasn't yesterday, that's Friday. It was Thursday. And here at Coach Steele's Finance Training, we know we go live every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone. And so I'm going to go deeper in a second. And so stay tuned. When we talk about this older couple, right? It was interesting because as I was evaluating their portfolio, their real estate portfolio, and their money they had coming in, I was so proud of them. Because their real estate portfolio, they had about 9 properties. And those 9 properties they had was bringing in $12,000 a month. This is after the mortgages were paid, property tax, insurance. Some of the properties were paid off already. And we were discussing on how to pay off some more of the investment properties. 2 more of them, and they'll have 2 more paid off in 2 years. They're on a great plan. So right now, they have $12,000 of passive income every month from these rental properties. And what was funny is when we looked at they're retired. When we looked at their Social Security income, one of them, their Social Security was like $1,100 a month. The other one, the Social Security was maybe about $1,900 a month. So they're getting like $3,000 in Social Security every month. But the passive income is 4 times the amount of what the government gives them every month. What am I trying to tell you? The power of passive income. When you're not reliant and stuck on the system and you create your own system, your own generational wealth, your own passive income that you are in control of, it puts you in a position of power. It puts you in a position of leverage. And so that couple, what they're doing is phenomenal. They're on the right track. They're excited. And they're older and they're like, Simon, do not rely on this Social Security check. It is not enough to live off of. Of course, I already knew that. But when you have older people speaking, you let them talk, you let them vent, you let them get it out. And so they were speaking as Social Security, and what you get from Social Security is so discouraging, the amount, because it's not enough to maintain yourself as you get older. You may have health problems. You may have other issues, things that cost more. You may want to travel more. You may want to do things for grandkids. All these different variables come into play. And so they have positioned themselves, because over time, they took time to buy assets and not spend up their money on frivolous things and things that would not benefit them. But wealthy people, let me tell you a secret, guys. Poor people with poor spending habits, and not to pick on anyone or blame anyone, because we can graduate and grow, right? Poor people get paid and they rush to buy liabilities. They spend their money on liabilities and that money never returns to them. And sometimes they struggle to pay things on time and their credit score gets messed up. So then it's even more difficult to buy assets and other items. I would say the average middle-class person, people who have some decent financial success, they get paid a decent amount of money. When they get paid, they pay things on time, so they have great credit, which allows them to go buy cars and houses, primary homes. And so now they're paying these monthly payments on these things that don't necessarily make them money, but they pay on time, they have good credit, and they have good jobs. Wealthy people, no matter how much they get paid every month, when they get paid, they pay things on time, they make sure they have good credit, and they go buy assets. They go buy things that will bring in more money, that will pay for the liabilities that they have. And so therefore your assets are working for you, as opposed to your 9 to 5, the money just goes out and it never returns. And so assets creates a revolving door for your money to benefit you. And there's some other benefits about it as well that we'll get into. So now let's look at this. Now that I've talked about the older couple and the success they're having with passive income, let's talk about what else we could do with $40,000. Let's say you had $40,000, and of course, you all know I love real estate. It doesn't have to be in real estate. It can be in dividend stocks. It can be in other ways to make passive income. You can invest it in your business. If you make t-shirts, you may decide to buy some machines to make t-shirts and be able to sell product, whatever it is. I'm just going to use real estate as an example. So let me share my screen again, and let's see if we take that $40,000 and we put it in a real estate investment. Okay, let's see if we can reset everything. And then I'm going to supersize the screen for you. All right, and let's see if I can make it a little bit bigger. All right, so in this scenario, guys, slide this over. I love using this mortgage calculator for examples. If we were going to buy a home of, let's say, $200,000, you buy a house, $200,000, maybe it's, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, or 4-bedroom, 2-bath. But then let's say, because it's an investment property, let's say you're going to have to put 20% down, which is $40,000. So now the new loan amount, because you put $40,000 down against that $200,000, the new loan amount is $160,000. And let's say the interest rate is at 6.98%. These are all hypotheticals. Before you do any investing, before you do anything, make sure you seek financial advice, financial counsel. This information is just for you to listen and watch and learn. And then, of course, go do your due diligence and do your own research to make sure you're making sound, solid financial decisions. So keep that in mind. So we're just using examples here. You still have to do your own research. Let's say the property tax on this property is about $3,300 a month. Now, there's no PMI because you already put 20% down. And home insurance, I want you all to know, real estate investors or people that are looking at diving into real estate, usually home insurance for investment properties it's going to be lower than your primary home mortgage. So it's not as expensive. So keep that in mind. So let's say you do this, right? Let's calculate and see what that monthly payment is going to be on this property. So if you get this property and let's slide over, it's going to say that monthly mortgage payment is $1,462. So that means every month you're responsible for paying that $1,462.34, right? But if you have a tenant in there in this 3-bedroom or 4-bedroom house, that rent might be, let's say the rent is about $2,000 a month. We already know rent is pretty high. So if rent is $2,000 a month, then we know we have an estimated profit. Let's go here, $2,000 a month, $1,462.34. All right. Rent is $2,000 a month minus 14. What we say, 64. Let's see here. Oh, 1462.34. Let's see. 2000. 1462.34. Oh, I messed that up. Let's try it again. Clear everything. If you got the answer, you can just write it in the chat. All right, let's see here. Okay, so the monthly profit is $537. I'm going to leave the 66 alone, and we're just going to work with the $537. So $537 a month is your profit times 12. You're going to make almost a little under $6,500 a month profit a year on that property. All right. A little under $6,500 a year on that property, an extra $537 a month. Now that's off of that $40,000 investment. This is what I want you all to remember. When we took that $40,000 and we put it in a high yield interest savings account, does anybody remember how much it was making a month? Does anybody remember that 40,000 times 4% divided by 12? It was about $133 a month it was making when we had it working in a high yield savings account. $133 a month. But now when we put it in this real estate property, it's now making $537 a month. So the difference there is $404. See, this is why some people will grow wealth faster, because you'll have, listen to what I'm saying, you're going to have the same thing they have, whether it is $5,000, whether it's $10,000, whether it's $20,000, whether it's $40,000. The only difference is some people who do the homework, that do due diligence, are going to place that excess cash in the right assets at the right time, and they are going to be able to grow wealth at a faster pace than someone who is extremely too conservative or worried or not seeking guidance or education or information. Does everyone have $40,000 to put into a real estate investment? No, they don't. But you can learn how to get to that point. You know, I'm always giving away free information and free game on Coach Steele's finance training. But one of the things you can learn is how to, this is creating your income snowball. When you learn how to create an income snowball, the passive investing cheat code for mastering wealth, when you get game and you have better understanding, you learn that it's not as complicated, it's not as difficult as you thought it would be. If you want more information about creating your income snowball, make sure you reach out to me. Let me know, whether you email me right there where it says coachsteelefinance@gmail.com, or you write in the chat section, because I always go back and check the comment sections and communicate with my listeners. Make sure you write something in there and let me know, and I will get you some more information. Sometimes I do have free courses in my description section on YouTube and on Facebook. In the description section, you'll see free courses and education about financial literacy in there. Sometimes I'll have links to high yield interest savings accounts, also links where you can do some basic ground floor investing into real estate as well. So a lot of good content and information is in the description section as well. As you're tuning in on today and you appreciate the information that's coming on Facebook, it allows you to send in stars. And so you can show some love and donate to Coach Steele's finance training as well. And of course, whatever you donate, it will be given to charity. It'll be given to people in Cameroon that are less fortunate. So as we're talking about passive income and creating income snowballs that will feed you and allow you to maintain and sustain yourself for a lifetime, let's continue to look at that scenario. So we know someone can have the same amount of money. They can make $33 a month, or they can make $133 a month, or they can make $537 a month. It's all about where they choose to position it. And so don't get stuck on the 40,000. I want you to get stuck on, it depends on where you position the money long term. Now, here's the crazy thing about the 40,000 that we talked about putting it in that real estate investment, right? The crazy thing about it is you put 40,000 in there, and I'm talking to my people that are in their 20s, people that are in their 30s, people that may be in their 40s. Usually it takes about 30 years to pay off a mortgage. Now, if you have a primary home and you're looking to pay it off faster, then you definitely need to connect with me so I can introduce you to accelerated banking with the Kwok brothers, and we'll show you how to get that 30-year mortgage paid off in 5 to 7 years. If you don't have 30 years left, then hey, you might knock it out in less than 5 to 7 years, and I can teach you and guide you through that process. And so definitely connect with me. Email me at coachsteelefinance@gmail.com, and it's down there in the ticker, or write something in the comment section. I need to get this mortgage paid off. And so if you do that, I'll definitely send you some information about that. And I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to give you the game and point you in the right direction so that you can have financial success. It is very, very important. So when you put that $40,000, some people would say, where would I get $20,000 from? Where would I get $40,000 from? I'm not telling you what to do, but some of you have access to more money than what you realize. Some people have $40,000 sitting in their retirement account. Am I telling you to empty your retirement account? No, I'm not telling you to do that. I'm telling you, do research, do your homework so you can decide what you're going to do. Some people I've seen people who have gotten a loan against their retirement accounts and then they pay themselves back. And someone would say, well, how can I pay myself back if I get a loan from my retirement account? And there's pros and cons why somebody would get a loan as opposed to just pulling the money out. So you have to do your research on that as well. And so if someone gets a loan on their retirement account, they're like, how would I pay it back? Well, if it's invested in a real estate and that real estate is making you $537 a month, check this out. Now that person can pay their loan back, right? You borrowed the money, you can pay it back. And the beautiful thing is your retirement account is still growing and the value of that real estate investment is still growing as well. Because if you're still, like I said, 20s, 30s, 40s, and you don't even need that rental income, and you know that that rental property is going to pay you for later as well, now you've already paid back that loan. Remember, this rental property is going to make you a little under $6,500 a month, right? And that's starting off because the rent is going to go up over time. So when you look at that and you say $40,000, feel free to write in the comment section if you have any thoughts or comments. Divided by $6,400, that says about 6.25 years. So now it could be quicker because you're still paying into your retirement account. But worst case scenario, you pay that loan back in 6 years, and then in 6 years is up. What are you going to do with that $537 a month? What are your options? What would you do if you made an investment and it was making you an extra $500 a month? What would you do? We'll round it down to 500 because you may have to call the plumber or the AC guy. So that extra $37 we'll put that towards, changing the air filters and getting the plumber and the AC guy and inspections to come out, or termite inspections annually or something like that. So what would you do with an extra $500 a month? In the comment section, I want to see, what would you do with an extra $500 a month? I know what I would do. What would you do with an extra $500 a month because you put your money to work? That's an extra $6,000 a year. Even after I paid the retirement account back, guess what? Now you don't necessarily have to use as much of your 9-to-5 income to throw into your retirement. You can take the money from the investment property because you still don't need it. You had the money lying around. You don't need the $500 to live off of. You can let that $500 be an addition to extra payments into your retirement. So guess what? The property is increasing in value. The rent over time is going up, and you're funding your retirement account using the tenant's money that they paid you. You take a certain amount of that $2,000. You service the loan. You pay the $1,462.34. You pay the mortgage note. Set some money to the side in case of an emergency, and then you can continue to fund your retirement account. Now you're not having to use as much as your money necessarily to fund your future retirement account. So you got retirement account asset getting ready to pay you passive income in the future, and this investment property over time. The thing is about my 20-year-olds, my 30-year-olds, my 40-year-olds, it only takes about 30 years to pay a mortgage off. So if you're 35, 40 and you hit 70, and this mortgage is completely paid off, let's go back to it. Let's go back to the sheet real quick. I want to show you something. You may pay this mortgage off in less than 30 years. You may get with me and say, hey, I want to pay off my investment property fast as well. And of course, I would just show you strategically how to do that. So if you pay this mortgage off, and let me supersize. This is great. This is great information. If you're tuning in on today and you're learning something, in the comment section, just write, this is great info, great info, great info, great information and education. So if you have that $1,462 balance, one thing I want to show you about that is a portion of that payment is what we call escrow, which is property tax and insurance. I want to educate you all on today. Part of your mortgage payment, there's principal and interest. And then the other portion of it is property taxes and escrow. So mortgage payment is probably broken up in about 4 different sections, depending on how you pay it. Now, when you look at property taxes and escrow, when we estimated the property taxes for this house for the year is about $3,300 a year, then that's $275 times 12. So monthly property tax is about $275. When we look at insurance, if the insurance is $1,500 for the year on this investment property, remember what I said. Home insurance is lower, it's cheaper on investment properties than your primary home would normally be for the same size house. Let's say if it's $1,500 a month, then now you're looking at paying $125 a month for insurance. So you want to add those two things together. So $275 plus $125 is $400. Now that's $400. So usually on an investment property, even after it's paid off, you still have to pay property taxes and insurance. So when we go back and we look at that regular monthly payment, I want you all to understand, even when you pay that mortgage off, there's still $400 a month that has to go to property taxes and insurance. So when we take $1,462 with 34 cents minus 400, what is the amount that we have that we are no longer paying that to service that loan, which is the principal and interest payment? You got it right. If we only have to pay $400 a month because this property is paid off, then that means we get to pocket that $1,062.34. See, in the beginning, when you first got this property, when you first took that $40,000 or however much it is, we know we were only making about $537 a month. But when this property is paid off, now the profit margin has increased. There's no longer a principal and interest payment, just the escrow, which is property tax and insurance. So now we're making $1,062 a month off of this property. So basically, that's $1,000 a month. $1,000 a month, that's $12,000 for the year. That's if rent never goes up. If rent goes up, then of course you're making more than $12,000 a year on that property. And think about it. You started that off with just $40,000. Now you're making $12,000 a year. Oh, you've definitely at this point have recouped way more than $40,000. And so you have to understand the power of passive income and being able to position your money to grow it. What if that property was worth $200,000 when you first got it, but now it's worth $400,000? So not only are you making potentially $1,000 a month, but now there's $200,000 worth of equity in this property. You could sell the property, collect the $200,000. You could do a cash out refi and get a portion of that $200,000, which is not a taxable event. And you can then potentially go acquire more properties and duplicate this process many times as you need to, or you can. Once again, if you need guidance on real estate and you're looking for a real estate program to dive into, then get with me. I'll point you in the right direction to a great real estate program that you can get involved in. But we are talking about on today the power of passive income and learning how to create your income snowball so that it can benefit you today and tomorrow. It does not take 30 years to prepare for retirement. It does not take 30 years to build up a retirement account to live off of. And sometimes people are creating these 30-year investment programs or investing into their 401k or retirement plan for 30 years, and they're only able to get $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month. And I just showed you how you can get that done in a shorter, quicker time through the power of one real estate property. What I just showed you with that one real estate example can be duplicated many times. You must understand, some people act on knowledge, they move on information, they get educated, and they take the next necessary step to show improvement. And then there's some people that will sit on their hands and not take action. And that's why I showed you that one article that shows you the disparity, the lack of action, the lack of movement, depending on what community and what culture you're from. And you have to ask yourself, why is that? And what can we do to improve that situation? You know, the wealthiest 10% of American households own almost 90% of U.S. stocks. That means they are dollar cost averaging and over a period of time buying these stocks. Why are Black people, why are we least likely to have passive income? And when we do, it's maybe only about $2,500, $2,600 a month, as opposed to other cultures and races where they're well over the $4,000+ a month in passive income. There are things that have happened in the past to different cultures that have held them down, that have kept them back and had challenges, right? But now we have to take action. We got to make a difference. We have to move and improve our situation so we're not dependent on the system to support us. We have to create our own system, our own income snowball, so that no matter what is going on with the government, we can still have the success we need through the power of ownership. And so I want you all to take this very, very serious. I'm passionate about this. I want to see people to get more passive income to prepare them for their future and to be able to pass down generational wealth in the form of passive income, because it changes the dynamics and it shifts what you and your family and your household can do for generations to come to really have influence and power in our culture, no matter where you are. I know my audience is broad, it's international, whether you're in America, whether you're in Africa, no matter where you are, you can help shift and change the influence that your culture and community has through the power of ownership and having your own system in place to make money. I don't want to forget anything, but guys, as you're tuning in to Coach Steele's Finance Training, make sure you go subscribe to the YouTube channel. We want to continue to push this movement of educating our community on how to grow. People that are wanting to understand and learn more about financial literacy, passive income, real estate, how to grow their wealth. Make sure you tag them in the comment section on Facebook. Make sure you share, even if you're on YouTube, you can take the YouTube, go to copy and put this YouTube video on your platforms to share with other people. We want to grow financial information and financial success with other people. The things that I've learned and have been shared with me to help me grow to where I am now financially, I want to give back and show to other people so that they can experience financial success. It's not as complicated as we think. Even when it comes to retirement, guys, your children do not have to wait till they get a 9-to-5 job to open up a Roth IRA. If your children are young entrepreneurs, if they're cutting grass, if they're selling things, if they're making t-shirts, if they're helping you with business and you're paying them, they can go ahead at a young age and open up a retirement account now. You can open up a Roth IRA as a parent or guardian for that child. They can start putting the money in there now, investing in the stock market. By the time that child is 30, 40 years old, they're so far ahead of the game. Once again, we're shifting the dynamics because wealthy people are owning stocks. They're owning assets. They're owning stocks that pay them dividends. So as they get older, their money is now paying them because they planted the seed. And that's what we need to do. We have to shift the dynamics. If you have questions or comments or things you want to discuss or talk about, feel free to put that stuff in there. But I want you to understand the power of real estate and that passive income and that property increasing in value. And that example that we use of that person, whether they borrowed the money from their 401k and paid themselves back using the real estate, yes, you can take the tenant's money, service the loan, and pay yourself back. You can take tenant's money. Some people have cash value whole life insurance policies, and they may decide to borrow against that and pay that policy back. But once it's paid back, what are you going to do with the money? You can continue to reinvest that money into other things. You can use passive income from rental properties, invest in the stock market. You can take passive income and slowly over time create your income snowball. Guys, we have so many options at our fingertips to grow our wealth, but you have to be willing to take action. If you are not good with stewarding your money, if you're not good with managing your money and setting up a budget, then you need to schedule an appointment with me one-on-one. Definitely with Coach Steele, which is who I am, of course. And you can go to my website. I don't have it up right now, but you can go to my website and I'll put it in the comment section and the description box. And when you go to my website, you can schedule an appointment to talk with me one-on-one and also use my email address down there at the bottom, coachsteelefinance@gmail.com. We're talking about the power of passive income. How many people on today in the comment section, you want to increase your passive income? You want to start growing passive income? You want to increase your passive income? It starts with gathering information and knowledge and education on the process of that. Do not be afraid to invest in yourself. Do not be afraid to challenge yourself to grow your wealth and invest in you. And sometimes that comes with education. Sometimes it comes with getting a good coach, getting a good mentor. Do not be intimidated and have a poor mindset because you're afraid to invest in a program to grow. I have invested into mentors. I've invested into programs, people who are willing to teach me and help me shift my mindset, and my wealth began to grow at a faster pace than ever before. You don't have to be stuck and stagnant. You're not limited where you are. You're only limited to where your mind is willing to go. And if your mind is willing to go the distance, then guess what? You can go the distance. You can get to where you're trying to be. The subject in the conversation of financial literacy is needed now more than ever. There's so many things shifting and changing as far as rules and policies and cuts and people losing their jobs. It is serious. So your financial literacy and how you manage your money and what you do with your finances are very serious. There are rules and regulations out here and hoops that you have to learn how to maneuver through. I always talk to people about being able to maneuver through this financial system. And you want to be able to maneuver through this financial system so well that it makes it look like you're moonwalking through it. You're doing it with ease. You're doing it with comfort. That's where we want to be at. We want to be very comfortable and confident as we maneuver, learn what the requirements are. We're in the middle of tax season. On Coach Steele's finance training, I just had tax professionals come on here and give advice about what to prepare for, what to look for when it comes to handling your taxes. I do hope to eventually have some more people come on and talk about taxes to help our community, our team at Coach Steele's Finance Training with preparing for their taxes. And so definitely want you all to be very interactive on today. Whether you listen to this video now or whether you listen to it later, I want to know your thoughts. I want to know your comments. Are you truly passionate of having power of passive income and changing the dynamics? You saw the stats for different cultures and races on what it looks like for each culture as far as their likelihood of having passive income. And we want to increase that. We want to be above average. We want to go above and beyond. So definitely leave your comments and your thoughts about today's video. What did you learn? What more did you want to see when it comes to passive income? What are other ways to create passive income? If you're tuning in on today, you can type in the comment section, what are some creative ways that you create passive income? And passive income is beautiful. In some of my other videos, I gave the definition of passive income. We had some great dialogue of what passive income is and what it isn't. And so once again, speaking to you all from experience, and you all seeing the stats, real estate is one of the easiest ways and one of the best ways to grow passive income. But if you are creative, you can create products, you can put them on the market, and so people can make orders and place orders. And so whether you are awake or asleep, you are selling product. Or whether you're a content creator and people are connecting to your content, it's possible to make money off that content as people click on it, whether you're awake or asleep. We want to shift the dynamics. We want to change those statistics because minorities do not have to be on the low end when it comes to passive income. Let's not make excuses. Let's figure out a way how to maneuver, find out the rules and regulations so that we can also have passive income. Here at Coach Steele's Finance Training, I thank you for tuning in. I thank you for listening. It has been a pleasure. It's been a blessing for each and every person that is listening in on today. I think this video is definitely going to get streamed a lot just because of the information and the content of it and the examples. You all are able to go to these different websites that I used on here today and tap into those and test some numbers out. Don't be afraid to jump on that website and say, you know what, I saw him plug in these numbers. I saw him go to that website and plug in some others. I'm going to quickly show you all when it comes to Coach Steele's Finance Training. All you have to do on YouTube is type in Coach Steele's Finance Training. And let me make sure I'm going to supersize it. You know, I like saying supersize instead of enlarge. So I want you all to see something. When it comes to Coach Steele's Finance Training, you can go on here and watch a lot of the videos and the content. It's tons of videos, content, whether it's about gardening, whether it's about financial literacy. If you miss any of the lives, just click on the live tab, and then you can catch all the live videos in case you missed any of them. The replays are on here as well. A lot of great videos and information, interviews with Pastor Takara Nicole and her book, Get This Baby Out of Me. That's another good one that we enjoyed. So it's a lot of great content and information as you see on here. Passive income, monthly income, changing real estate, set goals like a pro, want to increase sales, you name it. A lot of great information. So definitely tap in and stay connected to Coach Steele's Finance Training. All right. I think that's the end of class, guys. Any questions? Anybody have comments? Going once, going twice. I appreciate everybody for tuning in on today. We had an awesome time talking about the power of passive income. I'm confident you can get there, and I'm confident you're going to be able to grow your passive income. I have my own real estate portfolio, and I'm constantly, I would say periodically adding to my real estate portfolio over a period of time because I have a long-term plan. And so some people, they only have a certain understanding of real estate. Some people are afraid of real estate because they feel like they're going to over leverage themselves and they're going to be in debt. But you don't have to be in debt with real estate. You can buy real estate in cash. There are real estate deals out there where you can buy in cash and it doesn't take much. In some of my videos, I've given examples to where I've bought real estate in cash, didn't take that much, and I still own the properties outright. And so there is no principal and interest payments. That's why I can speak on that stuff, because some of those properties, there is no principal and interest payment. It's all profit, and I pay property taxes and insurance, like I spoke about earlier using that example. So you stay low gearing. There's a way to grow your real estate portfolio and be low gearing as opposed to high gearing. People are high gearing or over leveraged, and they have a bunch of loans. They make money, but they're very vulnerable. If something goes wrong or they have some bad months, then financially they don't have enough money to service those loans. But when you're low gearing and you've done it strategically and you've done it in a wise way, you're comfortable with the positions you took because you learn how to buy low so that later on you can make a higher profit and potentially sell high. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, been an awesome time on this morning. Thank you for tuning in to Coach Steele's Finance Training. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow me on Facebook under my name, Simon Steele. Be blessed and have an awesome day.